hormone balances. These are the powerful ones that we want to incorporate, either add into or add more of into our body, daily lives, systems. The number one piece of advice, though, before I go deep into this list, I've even made it the number one point on this list, is that one of the best things that you can do is to actually the art of reducing the things that are causing toxicity in your environment, in your body. That's the number one advice, the number one tip for us to get a healthier rate of health, less hormonal imbalancing. This is the number one thing that I would love you to focus on first, rather than looking at this list or the extension of this list down the road. I don't want you to look at these things as like magic pill solutions. The first thing that you need to do is like do the work, remove like the cosmetics, not all the cosmetics at all. Remove the estrogen hormone disrupting, hormone manipulating, the damaging hormone manipulators that are in some of your cosmetics, some of your grooming products, some of your foods, some of your drinks, the plastics, some of your grooming products in terms of like soaps, toothpaste, so your orals, the shampoos and conditioners, the detergents. Go through them. If it's got a phen or a benz in them, that's the common rule. But also get the Yuka app, YUKA, and scan those barcodes for me. And just try and, if you've spent a shit ton of money on them, give them to someone else, maybe trade, or like use them extremely sparingly, or just cop this out as a learning experience and throw them out. Please stop using them. All right, if you can sell them, I reckon, or gift them away. Maybe to someone that you don't like. No, we don't do that here. Okay, that's my number one tip. Let's get into the list. And like I mentioned before in the other lists, I'll expand on this. I'll move some things around over time. So this is the list as of today. So eggs. Eggs are the whole egg. So egg and egg white, the yolk and the white. It's quickly become my favorite superfood in the entire world. Sorry, vegans. Especially organic pasture raised eggs. So it's not, I'd rather you have caged eggs than no eggs, but I'd rather you have free range eggs than caged eggs. I'd rather you have organic eggs than free range eggs. And I'd rather you have organic pasture raised eggs than just organic eggs. So there's a bit of a hierarchy. Organic pasture raised eggs are the absolutely top of the list in terms of eggs. The cheaper they are, it essentially means that the worse the living conditions and the estrogenic foods that they're probably feeding the chickens in order for them to get bigger so they can sell them, or plop out more eggs. So they're either hormone manipulating the chickens to either get huge and unnatural, which you're eating, or they're plopping out more eggs or greater sized eggs through hormone manipulation, and then you're eating them. So steer well clear of caged eggs, but caged eggs are better than no eggs, if that makes sense. So organic pasture raised eggs, or organic, or free range. Just try to get the best of the best if you can. B vitamins, vitamin D, healthy fats, high quality protein and amino acids. It is this one, like this food is up there in terms of superfoods of, I'd say, eggs, organic red meat, kiwi fruit, blueberries. Those are my, and if I had to put one more as a superfood, chia seeds are pretty good. They might be my top 5. I might even change that on this video. Both male and female hormones need healthy cholesterols from things such as eggs to build healthy hormone levels, and eggs have also a nice amount of vitamin D. Zinc, and they also have obviously other vitamins. But the thing is, like with eggs, a lot of people don't realize like the amount of protein that your body's able to actually absorb from certain products varies from product to product. So just because something has 30 grams of protein in it, it's like a protein bar, like the body has a harder time digesting and absorbing that protein and putting that protein to use versus the protein that comes from organic eggs. So you need more of the fake synthetic proteins than you do the natural egg proteins or meat proteins. They're much more suitable for human metabolism. So not all calories are created equal, and the protein that, like the whole egg, is the most usable protein on the face of Earth for human beings. I'll say it again. The protein, when you consume an egg with the egg white and the egg yolk entirely, is the most bioavailable protein on Earth for human beings to absorb and to use as muscle building, and hormones are actually made out of proteins as well. So they are actual proteins themselves. So it's not just muscles. It's not just sex hormones. It's general well-being, wealth, like literal health comes from a whole egg. So they're a superfood. I've said zinc, but really oysters. No, I've said oysters, but I mean zinc. Therefore, that's what I mean. Zinc deficiency significantly increases estrogen receptors and decreases androgen receptors, so like testosterone. So typically you want to boost zinc, and oysters are just huge in zinc. That's why they're considered an aphrodisiac, is because they have such a potent and powerful effect on boosting your zinc levels up, as well as has an effect on copper, I believe. Red meat. So I put down red meat and beef kidney, but essentially we want more selenium, as well as the B vitamins and amino acids that come from red meat as well. But beef, organ meats, all amazing foods. They're the that might be my bonus number 6 in superfoods. Organic meats, or organ meats. Sorry vegans, sorry vegetarians. I can't help it. I can't go against the science. That's what the science says. Boost thyroid hormone conversion with increases androgen receptors, only found in the skin of Brazil nuts. It's in a Brazil nuts, only found on the skin. That's why Brazil nuts aren't entirely healthy. But the Brazil nut skin is very healthy. Glycine, so it's also found in gelatin and bone broth. Glycine is a component of androgen receptors themselves in the body, and need for glycine increases during periods of metabolic demand, such as exercise and stress. So that's why you kind of crave certain foods when you're stressed, because there's literally a demand for it from your body. Wild, fresh fish, which if you watch my previous module, the farmed fish is where you get a shite ton of excess androgen, unhealthy foods that seep into your body. We don't want farmed. We want everything wild tuna, wild salmon, wild shrimp. Parsley, I'm still putting in that information, so you'll see that soon. Cruciferous vegetables, so like broccoli, kale, Brussels sprouts, artichokes, cauliflower, cabbage, bok choy, and I'll probably put down spinach. It's a leafy green, not so much cruciferous, but all contain DIM, which is IC3, which actually helps remove excess estrogen out of your body. Carrots do a similar thing as well. So although they are vegetables and they have a tiny amount of phytoestrogens in them themselves, this actually removes excess estrogen. So these are amazing hormone balances, especially cabbage and especially cauliflower. They're my best recommends, because I know kale and broccoli, they actually can invoke a little bit of an inflammatory response in some people, even though they're meant to be superfoods. They do invoke a little bit of inflammatory responses. Brussels sprouts are a bit phytoestrogenic, so they do invoke a little bit of estrogen response themselves, even though they strip excess estrogen out. It's a bit of a weird one. So that's why I recommend cabbage and cauliflower the most, and spinach. And because chlorophyll in the spinach, there you go, is an anti-estrogenic. Cocoa powder and cocoa nibs. It's an anti-stress, anti-inflammatory properties. That's why you kind of crave chocolate a little bit, if you didn't know. The actual cocoa powder. So get on it, add it to your protein shakes. Cinnamon, amazing. So 90% of serotonin is created in the gut, which can then enter the body and cause havoc. Serotonin causes vasoconstriction and inflammation, and increases estrogen and opposes dopamine and degrades the androgen receptors that we want for muscle building. So bacteria in the gut can cause the production of serotonin, and it also irritates the gut lining, which enhances absorption of serotonin. Cinnamon has a potent antibacterial, antifungal, anti-turmeric, lavicidal, nematical, and incidental properties. I don't even know what that word is. But essentially, cinnamon, amazing for reducing that serotonin effect in your gut biome in a good way. So this is when people say, oh, serotonin, it's really good. The gut produces most of the happy serotonin hormone. Well, some of that serotonin, a lot of that serotonin produced in the gut is actually bad for us. So it wreaks havoc on estrogen levels in the body. You can't believe everything you read on like social media. Spicy food has capsaicin, so even like red capsicums, so it doesn't have to be spicy. It has a really great anti-appetite suppressant, and increases the receptor expression of things like healthy testosterone and healthy estrogen. Magnesium-rich foods, so good, so much, so vital. So we're so deficient in mainly zinc, magnesium, and vitamin D as humans across the board. I'd say 95% of people are. Fix your nutrition, fix your health, fix your hormones. Magnesium-rich foods. So this is why I highly recommend. Is that right? Red meat. That's more zinc. It's got a bit of magnesium and iron, but spinach is zinc. What have I got written down here? Magnesium potent calcium antagonist. So it removes intracellular calcium. So too much intracellular calcium induced by inflammation. EMF radiation shock. So essentially, you've got a shit ton of calcium, intracellular calcium in our bodies, and magnesium helps to strip it out. It also is vital for things like muscle relaxing, muscle recovery, and therefore stress responses and helping you get to sleep, having a really high quality night's sleep. That's really important for magnesium. Like that magnesium has that kind of response. Black coffee. I heard you shudder through the screen just now. What do I do with my black coffee? I put cinnamon in it. And it completely changes it. It doesn't completely change it, but it makes it quite nice to drink. If you can't have black coffee, just have almond milk. Stay away from soy milk if you can. And please stay away from soy milk. Drinking coffee promotes mental effectiveness, well-being, inhibits the aromatase, and increases androgen receptors. So it reduces the amount of excess estrogen that's being produced in the body, in other words. Increases your workout performances. I'll probably stay clear of having caffeine itself. It has a half-life. So it essentially stays in your nervous system for about 10 hours. So if you have it in the afternoon, by the time you want to get to sleep, it's actually preventing the brain's knowledge of the amount of aldehyde buildup that's occurring in the brain, and therefore the brain doesn't realize that it should be sleepy. So it's stuffing up your melatonin levels in your brain if you have it too later on in the day. So if I'm going to bed at 10 p.m. at night, the last coffee I want to have would be about 10:30 a.m. So it's almost 11 and a half hours prior, just to give me an extra hour to have my brain seep out some melatonin and to start feeling tired and sleepy. Pomegranate is amazing for preventing excess estrogen build up, but more so for systolic and diastolic pressure that can drop by 20% on average. It's got a couple of phytoestrogens in it, but the benefits of pomegranate outweigh the negatives. Organic extra virgin olive oil. It's high in this compound. It is high in a compound called lutropin, which in a study was seen to inhibit excess estrogen production from the conversion of testosterone to estrogen. So on top of that, it is not a polyunsaturated fat, which you usually get from canola oil and whatnot. This is, I believe, a mono fat. Let me just double check. Olive oil fat type. Monosaturated. Yep, got it. And so it doesn't strip. It's not an anti-nutrient. It actually helps the body. It actually helps give the body healthy cholesterol, which is then converted into things like estrogen and testosterone for women as well. Women, it's healthy to have testosterone, ladies, by the way. Don't be scared. And coconut oil. Similar effects to olive oil. It has it's anti-estrogenic, and it's filled with steroids, which is an anti-estrogenic and natural aromatase inhibitor. So again, just stopping the effect of the excess estrogen in our environments from affecting us. So it's not only preventing excess estrogen from being made, but it prevents excess estrogen being expressed that are coming from all these chemicals into our body. Garlic, really great for immunity. So vitamin C and garlic combination drops blood pressure levels more than any known drug in the market. So those natural kind of herb things that you see online on Facebook and Instagram, it's like health toxins, like health tonics and all that kind of bull crap. If they have garlic and vitamin C, then you're probably on the money there. Those ones are actually accurate. Garlic is an anti-estrogenic loaded with quercetin. It has the same effect. White button mushrooms and shiitake mushrooms, anti-estrogenic effects. Oats in moderation. So oats, as you know, like they're a bit of a staple for weight loss and bodybuilding and putting on lean muscle, just because it has like a appetite suppressing effect, but it's a low GI, so low insulin response. So it's long lasting energy, fills you up. It's like you're eating cereal, but you're not really. You can blend it and you wouldn't even know you're getting excess calories from it because you can't really taste the oats. Anti-estrogenic food naturally, but it's an oat grain product. And the grains themselves are subjected to lots of nasty herbicides in the process of getting these grains farmed and to table. So, plus they're a bit of an inflammatory response to some people, especially those gluten intolerant. So look, I recommend oats in moderation. I would prefer as you saw, number one on my list, eggs. I'd rather you have eggs in the morning over oats. And then when you need to mix up eggs, like just for variety, you've had enough of eggs for a week, throw some oats in there. Red grapes, not wine. So I've talked about this before. The red grapes actually have quercetin and what is it? Selenium. Let me have a look. I've probably written it down here. Phenols, estrogenic, quercetin. There's one. Resveratrol, I believe, and it's powerful anti-estrogenic properties. Loaded. Oh, there you go. With resveratrol, other polyphenols, which are known for their estrogen lowering effects. So this is why they say like, oh, wine's healthy for you. 2 glasses of wine, 1 glass of wine a night is healthy for you. Sort of. So wine, as I've mentioned just now, wine is known to have high levels of phytoestrogens. So just stick to the grapes over the liquid courage that comes with wine. Chia seeds. Chia seeds are one of my superfoods that I mentioned before. So flax seeds, so on a separate note, flax seeds are jam-packed with like almost like the perfect ratios of like omega-3, so omega-6s. But flax seeds are the most estrogenic, phytoestrogenic plant in the freaking world. So you're essentially putting the plant equivalent of the birth control pill into your body when you eat flax. It sounds harsh to say, but it's the reality. That's how bad flax is for us, for people, for you. So chia seeds are like, so if flax was the estrogen food, chia seeds are flax seeds without the estrogenic response. That's it. So that's why they're the superfood. They a perfect and amazing. It's almost like a perfect combination. Like hemp seeds are meant to have a perfect combination, but I believe hemp has a lot of phytoestrogens in it themselves. So chia seeds, it's like the male part of the plant. Therefore, you're not really going to get like that estrogenic allergic response. I'm going to call it an allergic response, whether you know it's an allergic response or not. There you go. Flax is recommended postmenopausal women to boost their estrogen. Citrus fruits, grapefruits, limes, lemons. I'll put in like oranges as well in moderation. A staple of the world anti-estrogenic diets, rich in flavonoids and antioxidants. Following compounds in citrus fruits are known to have some anti-estrogenic effects. So calcium D, glucarate, quercetin, limonoids. I don't need to read these out. And other compounds too. Onions and chives are a natural anti-estrogenic food. A really good for increasing nitric oxide, so blood flow to the muscles. Therefore lowering blood pressure because it's a vasodilator, and therefore you're able to work out at a greater intensity rate. So it's essentially like it's a natural pre-workout. It's a natural non-stimulating pre-workout food. Turmeric, one of the healthiest foods on the planet. Okay, this would probably be number 6 or 7 on my list of healthiest superfoods. Curcumin, stuff in the curry, anti-estrogenic and naturally anabolic. That naturally helps with muscle building. Fermented foods, a bit of an electric shock. Fermented foods. So essentially, fermented foods helps our body break down estrogen that's in foods. It helps. Fermented foods with live bacteria are anti-estrogenics because they're filled with organic acids. There you go. Antioxidants and enzymes and probiotics that enhance gut function and eliminatory channels, which helps your body detoxify estrogen. That's why you want unpasteurized yogurt with it. Pasteurized everything. That's what I was talking about before. So essentially, I believe it helps break down estrogens in your digestive tract. Dark berries. So you haven't heard this before. Everyone talks about how great strawberries, raspberries and everything are. Unfortunately, they are a little bit estrogenic in terms of phytoestrogens. Plus the farming practices of strawberries usually involve some unhealthy pesticides, as well as like strawberries aren't supposed to be this big. They're supposed to be this big. So there's obviously like hormone, fertilizer, manipulation to the fruits, which ultimately you are what you eat. So blueberries, elderberries, black currants, chokes have more antioxidants than most other berries, less phytoestrogenic, so less estrogen response, and actually anti-estrogenic, has quercetin and resveratrol. So red grapes will be on this list too. Maca supplement, so it's more a libido booster, as well as to lower estrogen, and ginger is anti-inflammatory. So we're still working on the list. Overall, the list, so to sum up this list, fruits, vegetables, and nuts to add into your diet is these. Meats and proteins are these. Fats and oils are these. Others is these, and other things that you want to do to help balance your hormone factors, prevent overtraining, prevent excess endurance. So excess endurance cardio actually spikes cortisol, which actually reduces your ability to build muscle and have a healthier body fat percentage overall. Being under 30% body fat for women and probably over 20%, avoiding obesity, keeping a regular exercise routine, even if it's sometimes half-assed, just go to the gym, make sure it's regular. 7 to 9 hours of restorative sleep, quality sleep, avoiding certain estrogenics in your environment, not being in a calorie restriction for too long. So strategic maintenance weeks, eating at maintenance with deloading, vitamin D supplementation, having regular sex, high self-confidence and great body language, which has a compound effect of you have high quality body language. It has an emotional response on hormones being expressed as well as you. It's like the chicken or the egg. Like, do you have a high quality body language because of your high health, or does higher is it the vice versa, or is it a combination of both? Usually it's a bit of a domino effect. Non-sedentary lifestyle, so getting your 8 to 10,000 steps a day, avoiding chronic drug use, tobacco use, marijuana use, I'll say alcohol use as well, and preventing diabetes, pre-diabetic states, taking creatine, and anti-aging, whatever we can do to anti-age. So yeah, welcome. Thanks so much for watching these modules. I'm going to keep expanding on these lists and simplifying them based on what I come up with and what I learn and what I want to take out, want to put in a little bit more. Highly recommend you jump over to sleep versus hormones, how that's going to affect, because if you have low quality sleep, you're going to be sparking the hunger hormone ghrelin, you're going to be sparking cortisol. So therefore you're going to have a lot of insulin that's demanding you eat sugary foods because you've got lower blood sugar in the morning. So sleep is a natural sleep is a natural weight loss action. High quality sleep, as well as restorative and high energy levels and balanced hormones. It's a great domino effect having high quality sleep. Stress versus hormones. So again, cortisol, I bring that back up again, and more resources and apps. So I really, really, really encourage you to go over to this page, more resources and apps. Watch this video on this app called Yuka. Download this app called Yuka. Use this app, Yuka, on all the food products and grooming products and cosmetics that you have in the house. All right, talk to you in a bit.